Well, hello again, my friends, and welcome back to 15-Minute Free Thinking with your host, Carpo. Me, once again, here I am. Today I'm sitting on my back porch. I figured I'd be a little more inspired if I was outdoors. It's one of those fall days where it's moist, kind of rainy, but clear, and cool, but warm, and just reminds me of, I guess, that fall is one of my favorite times of year. At any rate, I hope everyone's doing well today, and today's topic, I suppose I would probably title this video, How to Be More Assertive, which might come across as some sort of a, you know, inspirational promotion or something, where the way people talk about being assertive, you would think that being assertive is the same as being a go-getter, or going out there and making things happen. But it really has absolutely nothing to do with what you do for a living or how hard you work, even though how hard you work is part of course, being an adult and being a responsible human, so that's entwined in it. But I'm just a dude on the internet, so I figured I would read you from a psychological website. I was trying to go through a few different sites to really get an explanation, a definition of what it exactly means to be assertive. And I decided that I am a very assertive person. And I think that's often mistaken for arrogance, just like confidence is mistaken for arrogance. But without further ado, I'll just read what it says here. Assertiveness means standing up for your personal rights, expressing thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in direct, honest, and appropriate ways. It is important to note also that by being assertive, we should always respect the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs of other people. Those who behave assertively will always respect the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs of other people as well as their own. Assertiveness concerns being able to express feelings, wishes, wants, and desires appropriately, and is important personal and interpersonal skill. In all your interactions with other people, whether at home or work, with employers, customers, or colleagues, assertiveness can help you express yourself in a clear, open, and reasonable way without undermining your own or others' rights. Important. Others' rights as well. Assertiveness enables individuals to act in their own best interests, to stand up for themselves without undue anxiety, to express honest feelings comfortably, and to express personal rights without denying the rights of others. I suppose I'll just let the sirens play through because they're always going to be there. I can't wait to get the hell out of the city. I really hate it here. Assertiveness enables individuals to act in their own best interests. Okay, I read that. Okay, then there's a part about passive-aggressive and assertive. Assertiveness is often seen as the balance point between passive and aggressive behavior. But it's probably easier to think of the 3 points as a triangle. Being assertive involves taking into consideration your own and other people's rights, wishes, wants, needs, and desires. Assertiveness means encouraging others to be open and honest about their views, wishes, and feelings so that both parties act appropriately. Assertive behavior includes being open in expressing wishes, thoughts, and feelings and encouraging others to do so. Likewise, listening to the views of others and responding appropriately, whether in agreement with those views or not. Accepting responsibilities and being able to delegate to others. Regularly expressing appreciation of others for what they have done or are doing. I know that one's hard. A lot of us don't really take as much interest in other people's lives as we probably should, and I know I'm guilty of that at times, so that's one I'm definitely going to work on as well. The next is being able to admit mistakes and apologize. And let me tell you, that is one of the hardest things for some people. I have over the years learned that I'd make mistakes. I'm wrong about things. It's okay. I generally don't draw conclusions about things, but when I do, I'm very careful because I know I might change my mind in a year or two. And flip-flopping or changing your mind is considered somehow a bad thing in our society, and I think that's got to change. To finish, maintaining self-control and behaving as an equal to others. I think that's something that everyone needs to work on because we are all equal. And I'm not just talking about racism or sexism or any isms. I'm talking about everybody around us who we see as actors in our lives. We forget it's very difficult to see through others' eyes. It goes on to say, some people may struggle to behave assertively for a number of reasons. and find that they behave either aggressively or passively instead. Being passive, responding in a passive or non-assertive way, tends to mean compliance with the wishes of others and can undermine individual rights and self-confidence. Basically, if you're the kind of person that just goes with it, what everybody else tells you to do, you're going to build up resentment and frustration and anxiety because of that. I know people who aren't even aware that they are causing their own stress and anxiety. People who might have extreme stress all the time, or depression, or anxiety. Airplane. What do you do? People who, for example, can't admit that they've ever done anything wrong. The people who have a hard time even just saying, hey, I respect you, or I think you're an awesome person, or you've done a good job on this. It's a constant, sometimes it's a barrage of insults because the other person is often so unconfident in themselves that they come across as being very confident. But deep down inside, they know that they're scared. And that's very common as well. It says, finalizes with saying, many people adopt a passive response because they have a strong need to be liked by others. Such people do not regard themselves as equals because they place a greater weight on the rights, wishes, and feelings of others. Being passive results in failure to communicate thoughts or feelings and results in people doing things they do not want to do in the hopes that they might please others. This also means they allow others to take responsibility, to lead, and make decisions for them. And this last part on that one says, an individual's assertive rights should always include the right to express feelings, opinions, values, and beliefs, the right to change one's mind, the right to make decisions, the right to say I don't know and or I don't understand, which is very hard in today's fucking atmosphere, let me tell you. The right to say no without feeling bad or guilty. If you can't fulfill an obligation, sorry, can't do it. You know, you don't have to always please other people. The right to be non-assertive, tricky one. The right to personal freedom, to be oneself, and the right to privacy, to be alone and independent. And I think that's what a lot of people don't give themselves enough of. They feel guilty having time alone, or to themselves, or relaxing, or going out and hiking, or doing something that moves them. That's what life's all about, as long as the rest is fulfilled. And that's the tricky part. It says, it is often necessary to balance the needs of others against your own. Consideration needs to, I cut something off. Assertive behavior allows others to state what they want, and, of course, they might desire a different outcome. To overcome a conflict, assertiveness requires cooperation and negotiation. Cooperation and negotiation allow all parties to feel that their views have been recognized and that any decisions or outcomes have been reached through mutual understanding and negotiation. So, this is very important for today's world. We can't seem to get along on anything as a society. We can't seem to have a discussion. But I would look at assertiveness, the term, the definition, the usage of the word, as basically the modern day version of Stoicism. And I've talked about Stoicism in the past. It is a very useful tool, but a lot of people think of Stoics as people who are basically emotionless. And that's not the case. It doesn't mean you can't be fazed by anything, or you're not bothered or anxious or upset. You can still get mad, you can still be sad, but you let those feelings flow through you and move through you and ask yourself why you feel that way. Sometimes you have to make a life change. Maybe you have to abandon an idea or a job or a people, family, friends, anybody, a situation that you're in. Sometimes we don't even see our own problems because we're so hung up on either worrying about what others need or thinking that society is telling us where we need to go. And we have to be assertive in our own needs and our own beliefs because we have one life. One fucking life. I don't know if you believe in reincarnation or heaven or any of that. It doesn't matter. This life, as you, as an individual, as the person you are right now, you have one chance at that. If you disagree with that, that's fine, but that's how I see it. And I want to make the most of it. I want to talk on the last part here about a little bit about aggression and interpersonal skills, and I'll just read this paper to finalize this. By being aggressive towards someone else, their rights and self-esteem are undermined. Aggressive behavior fails to consider the views and feelings of other individuals. Those behaving aggressively will rarely show praise or appreciation of others, and an aggressive response tends to put others down. Aggressive responses encourage the other person to respond in a non-assertive way, either aggressively or passively. There's a wide range of aggressive behaviors, including rushing someone unnecessarily, telling rather than asking, ignoring someone, or not considering another's feelings. Good interpersonal skills means you need to be aware of the different ways of communicating and the different response each approach might provoke. The use of either passive or aggressive behavior in interpersonal relationships can have an undesirable consequence for those you are communicating with, and it may well hinder positive moves forward. It can be frightening or distressing experience to be spoken to aggressively, and the receiver can be left wondering what instigated such behavior or what he or she has done to deserve the aggression. If thoughts and feelings are not stated clearly, this can lead to individuals manipulating others into meeting their wishes and desires. Manipulation can be seen as a covert form of aggression, whilst humor can also be used aggressively. It is most important to remember that any interaction is always a two-way process, and therefore your reactions may differ, depending on your relationship with the other person in the communication. You may, for example, find it easier to be assertive to your partner than to your boss, or vice versa. However, whether it's easy or not, an assertive response is always going to be better for you and your relationship with the other person. And I could not agree with that more. I've learned not to be too brutally honest. I mean, it's sometimes honesty can be painful, but you also want to be totally straightforward with other people and tell them how you feel. And I wrote a little note down here that says, being assertive can be viewed as being aggressive if you're too honest about your feelings or thoughts. And that just says that basically when you're very forward and you're very honest, as I tend to be with people, they ask me an opinion, I give it to them. And I may not be sure about it, but that's how I feel. And some people view that as being aggression or being arrogant or being ignorant, depending on your viewpoint on the subject. You may agree, you may disagree. But it's important when you're assertive that you don't let others' views on things get you all hung up on, well, maybe they're right. You want to consider their viewpoints, of course. But you still have to stick by what you've taught yourself and your own values. If you sense something's awry, something's not working, a situation, a discussion, a relationship, a friendship, a job, whatever it might be, you got to look at things and say, am I being harmed by this because of my interactions with either this place or this person or this situation? And if that situation, person, or place is giving you problems and making you feel stressed out and anxious, then it might be time to walk away from it. And so many people are afraid to do that. So I think being assertive is a very valuable trait, and I just wanted to share some of those thoughts. I appreciate everybody coming along, and hope you have a wonderful day. If you want some more thoughts like this, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, of course, all that stuff. And I have additional content on Patreon for those who are interested. And I will talk to you all next time. Be well and be kind to others. That's all we can do.